Hadi Javad is here, and in this video we want to model a full project and full house project. In Revit we'll start from 2D and we will convert it to 3D, and we will export all of the plans that we need in Revit. If you have been following this series and Revit architecture course for beginners, you need to know this is the last session, and I will update the certification link in the description in a few days, and make sure to check that to claim your certification. And if you are not and you want to experience a full workflow project, this video is for you. We will create all of the plans, and we will create elevations, and we will create the facade, and we do all of the details, most of the details as the time allows us in this video. For this project I'm going to use this DWG file. You can see in here I will put the link for all of the files in the description. You can get them for free. You can see this is a normal house. I selected a house and a kind of traditional house because it's more popular in more countries instead of a modern house. If you want me to do a modern house too, make sure to comment down below. I will do a modern villa or modern house too. You can see we have different levels and we have different elevations in here, and also then we have our plans in here, and the documentation is not complete and it's a phase 1 or in a design phase drawings, and we need to guess some of the details and some of the things, but it's okay, and don't make me wrong because the details are different in each country. Okay, that's great, and let's go and let's create our model. The first step is to go to the new tab to create a new file in here, and let's select the default metric for ourselves. And then click on OK, and let's create our project. And now we have our blank project, and the first step is to save it. For example, let's save it on my desktop and let's name it. Click on save, and that's okay. And also the next step and the first step that I take is to create the levels first. To create levels, let's go to the north, and in here let's change the unit, press UN, and in here click on length, and I am okay with meter, and I work with meters all of the time, and let's put it on showing symbols and separate styling zeros. Click on OK, and okay, we have different levels for this project. I've done the dimensioning before. We have a level 0 or 0 elevation, and which is our ground. Our ground has a slope, but that's okay. Let's call it ground, and also let's put a 0 1 in here to organize our project bars. And then we have a level, and which is our first level. Let's put it on, it is about 1.44, and let's put the scale on something maybe 125 or maybe 150 to work better, and let's call it first floor, ground floor, sorry. We have two other levels in here. Let me create another level. To create a new level, let's go to the level in here, and let's create two additional levels in here. Let's put it on 3 meter, and then we will adjust it. Let's put it on 3 meter, and let's create another 2 level. And also we need a level for our top of our roof. Let's create another one, and let's name the third one maybe first floor. Let me name it first floor, and the elevation of it is about 497, and that's great. And the next one is our bottom of BOT of our roof, or bottom of the roof. Let's put it on BOT roof, and the elevation of it is about 8.73. These are the dimensions that I've extracted from the CAD file. We are not calculating them in here. And also for the next one, it is our top of roof, or I'm going to call it top roof, and the elevation for that is 1189. Let's put it on 1169, sorry, 1169. And that's our levels, and we have our levels and our views here. The next step is to bring our CAD files in, but before that we need to do two things to make sure that our CAD files are optimized. Now, after optimizing our two floor plans and creating the separate files for each of them, let's bring them in. For example, let's go to the ground floor and let's bring the ground floor in here. To bring that in, let's go to the Insert tab. In here, we have two different options. We have link CAD, and also we have Import CAD. Because I don't want to change anything in the CAD and it is not revisioning in our design, I want to import it. Let's go to the Import CAD in here and let's select that DWG file. Okay, this is the file that I want to brought in. This is the level 1, and I just wanted in this view. I don't want to see it in other views. Let's check the current view only. And in here, for the colors, let's click on Preserve, or we can put it on Invert because it will optimize it for white background. Also for the import unit, let's put it on Auto Detect, and for the other reading, just put it on anything it is, and let's click on Open. You can see it is too big in here. To make it smaller, you can see I can't select it, so let's activate the select pin elements and let's unpin it in here. Now we want to scale it by these threads that we have in here. To do that, click on Scale in here, click once, click twice, and then this is gonna be 0.3 meter or 30 centimeter. And now let's zoom to fit and let's bring this in here and let's put it on in here. Okay, and the next thing that I want to do is to pin it again. Let's pin it and make sure to uncheck the select pin elements, but I will do that after I brought the second level 2. And also the next thing that I do for the CAD files, I go to the VG and I make sure that the halftone for the CAD file is on, because it will differentiate the CAD files from our Revit model. For example, when I create a model in here, you can see the transparency of them are different and you can model more easily. Now, before bringing the next floor plan in the Revit file, we want to create our grids. To do that, let's go to the Architecture tab and click on Grid, and let's create our grids. You can see in these grids we have symbols in both sides. So let's go to the Edit type, and in here make sure to check the other symbol too. Click on OK, and now let's create the first one, or we can start from here. That's great. Let's put that on here, and in here let's put the scale on something like 150, and let's copy this in other parts. But before copying, let's rename it. For example, let's put it on A1 and let's copy it. And for this one, let's put it on A, and then again let's copy it for the other ones. Now it's time to create our vertical grids. To do that, press GR on your keyboard, and now let's create our grids for this place, for this one, and let's rename it and put it on, I think it was 1 in here. Yeah, let's put it on 1. And now let's create copies for this one too. Okay, you can see now we have our grids. And also another thing we need to do for the levels, I don't work with these bubble symbol levels, I work with the triangle spots. So let's bring them. To do that, let's go to the Insert, and in here click on Load Families and go to your RVT folder or Revit Object folder. I have it on my desktop. In the libraries, and let's go to the English, and in here let's go to the annotation, and let's find the level head in here. These are the level heads. Let's select all of them and let's click on Open to bring them in. Okay, let's create a new type for this. Let's click on Duplicate. Let's call it Triangle. And in here, the line width is great, but for the symbol in here, let's put down Triangle Spot. Also, you can bring the other end symbol in here too. Also, for the color, we can put it on something lighter, maybe this one, and click on OK, and that's great. And also let's change the other ones in here, and that's great. I love it. And let's bring it a little bit to the left, and let's propagate them to other views. Okay, that's the base that we want to use for our project. Or we can adjust it from here too. And now it's the time to bring the other floor plan too. To do that, go to the first floor plan. Let's go to the first floor plan, and in here, let's bring our other CAD file. Let's go to the import CAD in here, and let's select the other file. You need to create separate files for each plan. Okay, let's select it and let's put it on current view only, and let's put options on the things that they are. Click on open, and now you can see it is really big in here. Let's scale it again with the same way that we had. You can see because it's pinned, I can scale it, so let's unpin it first. Now let's select the scale in here and let's scale it to 0.3 meter, and double press your mouse wheel to zoom to fit, and let's bring it in here. Now we need to move it by the intersection of a grid to put it at the same location that we had our ground floor. So let's select it and let's move it from this intersection to the exact intersection in the grids that we made, for example this one, and now we have it at the same location that we want. And let's go to the VG again, and let's make sure to turn on the halftone in here too. And also you can see the halftone is really I want them to be light but not this much. To change it and make it a little bit darker, let's go to the manage and additional setting, and in here click on a halftone, and in this part make it a little bit darker, maybe 60. And now I'm okay with this, and let's turn off the select pin elements, and that's the time that we can start to create our model. Personally, I start with walls and I create the walls first. For example, in the ground floor, let's start from the ground floor wall that we have in here, and let's go to the wall in here and make sure to put it on height, and let's put it on first floor, top to the first floor. And in here I want to use the exterior wall. Let's go to the exterior walls. This exterior block on metal stud would be great for me, and let's create them in here. We can see the details. Let's put the detail level on fine, and let's put it on shade to be able to work. And also we want to dimension the walls in here and the thickness of this wall to see if that's fit. This is 25, but this is 35, but I don't mind that, and I want to use this metal stud wall for my exterior walls. To do that, let's click on this one, and let's press CS for create similar, and let's create our walls from this side. You can use lines or you can use pick line in here, whatever you want. Make sure to put the location line on finish face exterior, and you can see the orientation is not right for me, so let's put it on finish face interior, and let's select this part. Okay, that's great. And now let's create our walls in here too. I pick the walls, and then I will do the trimming at the end, and I will do the extend and those kind of things at the end, because it is much easier to pick all of them and then do the trimming. Okay, that's great. I picked all of the walls that I wanted. For example, I have these walls in here, and I want a wall in here because we didn't have the line. Let's make it by by sketch in here, and make sure to move it with its thickness, and that's great. Let's press TR for trim, and trim this one with this one, and let's trim this one with this one. You can see we don't have the wall in here. Press CS for create similar, and let's pick the wall in here, and let's trim this one with this, and let's extend this one to here, and we don't have the wall for here, so let's pick it again in here. And now we have our trims automatically is done by Revit, and now let's bring it in here. Press TR for the trim, and now press TR for the trim in here too. Also, this is not the exterior wall, so let's trim this one with this one, and this one with this. And you can see we don't have any wall in here. We have a wall in here. We need to trim this one with this one first, and then this is okay for us now, and we can create some finishes in here later on in this video, or we can split this wall and we can change the type of the wall in this part. But in this project, because it's a beginner project, I'm not going to do all of the details. Now all of the exterior walls are done. It's the time to create our interior walls. In reality, we have different interior walls for each part, but for the ease of the tutorial, I'm going to use just one interior wall with different thickness, but you can assign the different layers for each part of your project or each room of your project by yourself, and it is really easy. Okay, let's click on WA, let's press WA, and in here I'm going to use this interior block work in here, and this is about, let's create one in here, and let's see the layers, and we have some walls that are about, I think, 20, maybe 20. I will put them on 25. Let's create a duplicate in here, and let's create a 25 in here. I'm going to change the thickness of this one. You can see the total thickness in here too. For example, it is 16 centimeter. We want about 4 and 5 and about 9 centimeter in addition to this one. So let's put it on. We want this layer to be about 23 centimeter. Click on OK, and let's create these thick walls, and then we will create the partitions in other places too. Okay, that's great. Let's press CS for the create similar, and let's use pick line again. In here, let's make sure to put the location on finish face interior or exterior. Let's pick these, and these. I'm not going to create these details in here because it's time consuming, and they are really easy to create. And let's pick this one too. These are partitions and smaller partitions, and also for this part too. Okay, I want a bigger wall for this part, so that they're great. So let's extend this wall to here with EX on your keyboard. Let's extend this to here. Let's extend this wall or drag this wall to here. That's great. I don't want this one. Let's extend this to here by EX on your keyboard, and also extend this wall to here by EX, or you can go to the modify tab and click on extend in here and extend this wall to here. And that's great, and this is the wall that we have beside of our stair. And now I want to create the smaller walls that I have in here, which are about 13 centimeter, we can say. Let's select one of these, create similar from that, and we have a 13 centimeter wall in here. It is about 14 centimeter, but that's great for me. That's okay with me. And let's pick the walls. For these bathrooms, I want to use the 10 centimeter because we will have a partition in here too for our dogs. Let's pick them in here, and that's great. Also, we have one for here, and also for this part too, and that's great. Let's trim these two together, and let's extend this one to here, and we want to use the trim for here too. We need extending here EX, and also for this side, let's trim this one with this, and these are joined automatically, so that's okay. Let's extend this to this, and also extend this one with this one, and that's okay with me. Also, I want to have a partition in here. Let's click on create similar. I want to use this partition in here, and I want to make it a little bit smaller or thinner. For example, let's go to the edit type, and let's put it on about 5 centimeter or 4 centimeter for the core. Click on OK, and let's create something in here. We can make it even smaller because I want a small partition to have our map installation behind it. You can see sometimes when you create your partition, for example something like this, I want the thickness on this side, so just press space once and you can bring it in this side, but you need to make sure that you are okay with the layers in different places. Okay, that's great, but the thickness is too high. Let's put it on something smaller. As I said, I don't care about the details in here. I just want to let you know how you can model some things, because the details are really different in each country and each place. So let's put it on 3 centimeter. I don't want to waste time on this easy stuff that you can find in everywhere. Let's put it on 3 centimeter, and that's okay for me. And also I want to one partition and 2 partition for this side too. You can see these are too thick in here, and we need to make them thinner too. Let's go to the edit type and let's delete this one, and let's delete these sides too, and let me see the total thickness. I care about the total thickness. I just care about the total thickness in here, and that's great. Okay, that's okay with me. And for here we need some walls too. Let's create a wall in here. I press CS, and also you can see there are some decoration in here. I'm not sure what are they because we don't have any exact detail, but I want to create them in plan. They are really easy to create, something like this, and you can use pick line for these places too. You can say it is big wall in here. Let's extend it EX, and let's extend it to here, and that's okay. And also for these places we have some small parts. You can create them too, but that's okay with me. And we have our exterior walls in here too, and we want a big and thick wall for this partition that we have in here too. Let's dimension it. It is about 45 centimeters. It is a huge one. I don't know exactly what it is. And here it is, I think it is maybe a place for TV or something like that, but I'm not sure. Let's CS from this or create similar from this, and let's create a duplicate, and let's make it so much bigger. The total thickness is 25, so we need about 20 centimeter. We need to put this one or on 43. As I said, I'm not really sure about this. I just want to fill it in my plan, so I just don't care about it right now, and that's okay. I want to fulfill that in my plan, and they are okay. And we want to do the same thing for our top floor too, but before that I don't want to have the red brick in here. Let's change the brick in here. Let's go to the edit type, and in the edit type in here let me turn on the preview, or we can go to the elevation to know which one is the brick one. This is the brick. Let's go to the brick material, and I want to replace it with another asset in masonry, maybe this one, but I want to put a tint on it, maybe a small yellow tint on it. Click on finish. We can change the color later on, but maybe let me make it lighter, and also a little bit something like this. Click on OK, and now let's go to the graphics and make sure to check the use render appearance. Click on OK, and OK, and I'm happy with it right now. And now we have our wall in here. And also let's go to the edit type, and I don't know what's the problem with shading. I think it's not reading the property of tint, so we need to assign it manually. To bring the exact color in here too, let's go to the appearance, let's go to the tint, and in here click on add, and it will add this color to your swatches, and click on OK. Let's go to the graphics, and in here let's select that to have the exact color in here too, and that's great. Okay, and let's create the exact walls for our second floor, and then we'll come back and we'll create doors and windows. Let's go to the second floor, or our first floor, and let's turn off the select pin elements, and let's pin these two. And again, for the exterior walls, I'm going to use the exact walls that we've used in the ground floor. Let's go to the press WA on your keyboard, and let's select the wall that we had. And now let's pick the walls again. Make sure to put the detail level on fine, and let's put it on shaded. And these are the rails in here. Don't pick these in here. Okay, I picked the walls. Let's trim some of them. Also, I have to say some tips about some of them. Trim this one with this one. We don't have any wall in here. You can see in this place I need to create it by line. Let's create it by line in this side. Also, I need to extend it to here. And as I said, you can bring it in here, and you can create another wall with the appropriate finishes that you want for this side. But as I said, I don't care about those kind of small details in this project. I'm just going to show you the workflow that I use for modeling my project, especially for early phase design projects. Let's extend it in here, and let's press TR for trim, and let's trim this one with this one, this one with this one. You can see I can use pick wall in here when I press CS in here for create similar, and I want to pick these. You can see I can't pick them, so I need to create them manually. Let's select on start and arc radius, and let's select this one too. And now let's put the radius to this side, and now you can see we have our arc in here too. And now this is the time to create our interior walls. Let's go to the walls again, and in here I think it is, yeah, it is about 12 centimeter, but I'm going to use 10 centimeter wall. I'm going to use that in here. Let's pick this in here. I want to use the exact one in here. Now we've fixed some of the walls. Let's extend this one to here. Let's extend this one to here. Extend this one to here. Extend this one to here. And now we have most of our walls. Also, we have a thicker wall in here. Let's press CS in here. Let's put it on maybe 19 centimeter or another thickness that we have. Maybe that's it. This is okay for me. And let's trim this one with this one, and let's extend this one to here, and also extend this one to here, and also extend this one to here. And they are okay with me, and you can create some of the things in here too with the line parts of your walls really easily, and you can see they join automatically for you, so you don't need to do any joining here. Also, I can use the peak line in here. If you can't, you can ignore them, or you can create them by manually in here. We have another one in here. Let's just create a outer edge for this place in here to have it in our plans. And now I'm okay, and I'm satisfied with the interior walls. Before modeling the doors and windows, I prefer to model the floors first, and when I want to model the structural floors now. To do that, let's go to the ground floor in here. And in here, I have a shortcut for my floors. You can use it too, but you need to set it by pressing KS and search for floor. And I have a FA for architectural floor. And I'm going to create the structural floor even with the architectural floor. It's not really that important in here. Press FA, or you can get access to the floor in here. And let's create our floor. I'm going to use the block and beam floor in here. Let me find it. This is the one that I want to use. And now we can use pick wall. Make sure you are in pick wall, and I want to extend it to the core of my wall, for example in here. And these parts are my finishes, or if you know that this layer is not your facade finish, you can extend it by going to the pick line. Now you have the ability to do anything or any line that you want to pick, but now I'm okay with it. So let's click on pick wall, and now let's select all of the walls that we have. You can press tab, and sometimes it will recognize the exterior walls, but right now it doesn't, so we need to pick them manually. It is really easy because we have the walls. We can do it very easily, and for some of the places like this we need to do some modification afterwards, but that's okay. Now let's select this one, and let's select the other walls and exterior walls that we have, because the structural floor will spread to all of the places, but then we have to create our finished floors or architectural floors that will be only in one room or in one area of our plan, and each area can be different from each other. Okay, that's great. And in here let's split this by pressing SL, or in here you can click on split element, and then let's trim this, TR, press TR to trim this and this. That's great. Let's press tab once to select all of the boundaries, and that's okay with me. Click on finish, and now I'm good to go. Let's go to 3D. To go to the 3D, for first time you need to go to the default 3D view, and that's okay. This is my floor plan. This is okay, but I want to extend my exterior walls a little bit below this, and I want to bring it to the ground for my exterior walls and structural walls. Let's go to floor plan, and let's select these exterior walls that we have, and I can select this one too, and let's select all of them. And now I've selected all of them. Let's go to 3D, and in here make sure to put the base level or base constraint on ground, and now we have better thing. I will model the ground, and you can see the difference in that time, but that's great. Let's go to the first floor, and let's model our floor in here too. Again, I'm going to use floor and block and beam floor, put it on peak wall, and make sure to extend it to the wall core, and now we can pick our walls easily, and the boundaries will be set automatically in here. I've picked all of them. Now we need to do some cleaning. Let's trim this with this, and let's trim this with this, and now we are good to go. Click on OK. I don't want to attach anything to it right now. Just click on it, and let's go to 3D, and now we have our floors in here. You can see we need a floor in these parts too, so I need to extend it to there. Let's go to our first floor again, and let's extend the boundaries of this floor to here, and also to here, and also to these balconies that I have. Let's go to the edit type. Now let's pick these lines in here, in here, in here too. And now for this part, this is the part that our floors ends, because we have a roof in here. So let's pick these in here, and now it's time to clean our shape. Let's trim this with this. Let me turn off the thin line to see the lines better in here. Let's trim this with this, and now let's trim this with this, and I don't need this one, so let's delete it, and now it's okay. And also let's modify this place too. For this place it is a little bit tricky. Let me bring it in here and create a line in here, and let's trim this with this. And for this one I need to delete it because I don't need it, and also for these ones I don't need it. Let me trim this one with this, press TR, and let's clean this in here. Okay, that's great. And for here we need to create another line to trim these three together. Okay, and this one with this one, and in this situation we need to split it. Press SL, and let's split these lines in these places, and let's and trim them together. Press TR to trim, and now we are good to go, and we have our full floor that we need. Let's click on finish, and we have a problem in sketching. We need to check it. Yeah, we need to have a cleaning in here too. Trim these together, and now click on finish, and I don't want to attach anything to it right now, and that's great. You can see we can see our walls in here. So we need to go to the ground floor, and you need to select all of your interior walls in here. To do that, let me select these walls in here. We can select something like this, then we can filter the walls out, and that will be much easier for us. If you have a ceiling and you want to attach them to your ceiling, you can wait until that moment, but because I don't want to model any ceiling right now, we can do it with this workflow. Okay, that's great. And let's go to the 3D and let's filter the walls. And now we have our walls and interior walls only. Let's click on attach and make sure it is on top, and now select your roof, and they are attached to the top roof that we made in here. And for this part we have a problem too, so for this part I need to bring them a little bit down to cover this place that you can see in here. Let's go to the settings in here and properties, and make sure to assign a minus 30 centimeter to it. Click on OK, and now we are okay. You can bring these down too, or you can join them easily. Let's go to modify, and let's join these together, and let's join these together. But you can see it's not that awesome. If you want to change it, let's go to our floor plan. Let's return a little bit, and let's bring these down about 30 centimeter. We need to assign a minus 30 centimeter to the top part, and in here you can see our walls is split. Let me delete one of them, and let's trim these together. And also we have a problem, and these walls are part of the facade of this wall. I want the opposite way, so we need to go to the first floor, and in the first floor in here you need to select the wall join tool in here, and make sure to put it in here. Make sure to put it in on whatever it is. Select your wall join in here, and now you can see this line. I want this line to be in here, so you need to click on next, and now this is the thing I want. I need to do the exact thing for this side. Click on next, and now that's great. Let's go to 3D, and now you can see the full facade is just with one wall that we have in here. And for the base offset, specify the minus 30 centimeter, and now we have a more cleaner facade. Now you can join them together, and for the hash you can align the hash, and or you can move the hash in here. Let me move the hash in here, and also for here press tab to select the hash and bring the hash upper, or you can use line work and invisible line to hide any line that you don't want to see. I don't want, for example, I don't want to see this line, so you can use invisible line in here, and let's join them too. And now that's the way that you can create this kind of parts in facade for yourself. And our exterior walls are done, and for these parts I need to attach these 4 walls in here too. Let's select them, and let's attach them to the top floor, and let's check other parts for attachment, and that's great, and we are good to go. Now it's time to model our floor finishes. To do that, let's go to the ground floor, and before that let's attach these 3, 2, select them and attach them. Let's do the ground floor, and in ground floor, let me close the inactive views, or we can close them manually, and let's model our finishes. To do that, let's go to architecture tab, and in here select floor, and in here for interior parts I want to use my parquet, and for my bathrooms and my kitchen or those kind of places I'm gonna use ceramic, and for my parking and for my exterior parts I'm going to use concrete flooring or concrete blocks flooring. Okay, that's great. And now before that, let me close this one and let me bring the CAD in, and I want my CAD to be in front, not in the background. So let's activate the select pin elements, and let's select our CAD files and make sure to put it on foreground to see it in any situation. This is really helpful right now because we want to see the finishes in here. Let's go to the floor again and let's select our wood flooring in here. Okay, that's great. Standard timber wood finish. I don't want the structural part, so let's go to the edit type and let me bring the preview on, and let's delete the timber part, and that's great. Click on OK, and I want to know the thickness. The thickness is about 4 centimeters. This is really vital to know. And now let's click on brick wall and make sure to extend it to the wall core, and now you can select your walls really easily in here. Let me turn on the thin line to see the lines much better, and now let's select our walls. For some places like this, we need to use peak line instead of using a peak wall, because I want to wrap the finishing around it. So sometimes you need to use peak line instead. Okay, that's great, and let me pick other walls in here. And also another tip, if you've encountered to something like this, I want the line to be here, but it is in here, just select them and use this arrow to put it in opposite way and in the way that you like, and make sure to pick other walls in here. You can use pick lines too. And now we need to pick these walls in here, and let me put it in opposite way, and let's trim them together. This is really simple. TR with trim these two, and let's split in here, and let's trim these two together and these two together, and we are okay. Let's trim other parts. We need to split our line in here, and let's trim this one with this one and this one with this one, and you can get rid of this line in here, and you can trim these together. And we need to do the cleanings before doing anything else. And in here you can see we need to put it in opposite way, and then you can do the trimming. And for here, I don't want to waste my time in here, but you can go and wrap all of these walls around. And also for this, you need to put it in opposite way, and this is the right place. But you can see when I use this one, it will, this one and this one are in opposite way, so it's a odd situation. So let me bring this to the right place, and let me delete this one, and in here let me bring these two to here, and you can see it is doing an odd way, really odd way. So I need to use pick line in this kind of situations, and we need to pick the exact line that we want. And if you can select it, press tab a couple of times, and then you can select the right line that you need. Now I pick all of them. You can trim them again in here, in here, in here, and in here. That's great, and I think we are good now, and we are good to go. Click on finish. I don't want to attach it or say it right now. You can see it in here, because when I select it and I go to the section box, you can see it is overlapping with the structural floor, because you need to assign an offset to the architectural finishes in the exact dimension by their thickness. For example, this floor finish is 4 centimeter, so I need to assign a 4 centimeter height offset to it to have it in a exact detail that I need. And let me bring the section box a little bit in here to see the details. You can see now they are not overlapping. This is a little bit overlap, so let me put it on 0.041 for in here to have it in exactly in place. And also they are not spreaded to everywhere, and we can use different finishes in each part. Let's create some ceramics and also concrete blocks for our bathroom and also for our parking and exterior parts that we have. Now it's time to create our ceramic finish. To do that, let me press CS and create similar on this one. Let's go to the edit type, and let's create a duplicate from this one, and let me change it to ceramic, and press on OK, and let's go to the edit part, and in here I want a mortar by 1.5 centimeter, and I want my ceramic in 1 centimeter. You can go and change your materials in here. Let's create a new material. Let's call it tot mortar, and let's bring an asset for it. Because the appearance is really same with concrete, I'm going to use concrete in here, and the graphics, let's put it on user render appearance, and for the surface hash you can use concrete hashes, and also for the cut you can use the exact one, and that's great. Click on OK, and for the ceramic, let's create our ceramic flooring here, or you can search ceramic. Maybe you would have a ready one, but we don't have, so let's create another material for our ceramic. Let's rename it to ceramic, and let's bring an asset for it. Let's go to the assets, and let's go to ceramic and tiles. I want a really simple tile, maybe this one, and in here I want to change the size of it. Let's go to the relief pattern, and I want a 30 by 30. I want a big tile, so let's go to the scale in here and put it on 30 centimeter. I want a big tile. And also in graphics, let's go and use render appearance, and that's great. I want to create a custom hash for this one. If you don't know how to create custom hash, make sure to watch the video I will put in here and return in here to create your custom hash. But for the ease of this tutorial, I'm not going to create that hash, exact hash that we have in here. You can see it is a polygon, but I want to create a simple rectangle with angle in here. So you can create your own hashes with the video that I referenced, but you can use these simple hash that I'm going to create in here too. Let's go to the surface pattern, and for the surface pattern in the model part, let's create a new one, and let's put the numbers on 30 centimeter, and make sure this is on cross hatches, and it has about 45 degree, and let's put it on ceramic. Click on OK and OK, and that's great. And you can change the color in here, and I don't want any cut pattern in here, so that's great. Click on OK, and we have our ceramic. Let's model them, and let's bring them in our bathroom in here. Let's click on pick wall and pick your walls. Let me bring it in this side, and that's the thing that I want. And in here you can use trim to clean these lines, and you can do the same thing for other bathroom in this part. And let's trim these two together and these two together. Click on finish, and their thickness is about 2.5 centimeter, so let's give them an offset about 2.5 centimeter, and that's great. And we don't have any specific tile in here. We need to create another concrete tile, and we can use it in this place. I'm going to use the exact layers in here. Let's click it, duplicate, and let's call it concrete tile or tot concrete tile. I'm using tot preference to find my types and elements much faster. It is an abbreviation for myself. You can use any abbreviation you want. Let's call it tot and concrete tile. And the name conventions are really important, because after a while, and specifically in a bigger project, you need to manage your project instead of just modeling everything and creating a mess, and that's not going to be a BIM. Okay, that's great. Let's go to the edit tab and just let's change the top part, and let's create a new material for it. Now let's bring an asset for it. I'm going to use concrete, and let's go to concrete, and let's go maybe this white one in here. That's great. I want them by 30 centimeter by 30 centimeters. So let's go to the relief pattern, and in the normal part you can see 1, 2, 3, and I think maybe 1, 2, 3, and 4 of them are 120, so they are about 30 centimeter by 30 centimeters, so that's great for me. Click on done, and let's go to the graphic part and click on use render appearance, and in here you can go to the surface pattern and can create a, let's go to the model part, because the model hash doesn't change by the scale. And let's click on new one, 30 by 30. Let's put it on cross hash and make sure it doesn't have any angle. And let's go to the edit part again, and let's put it on 30 by 30 centimeter hatch. I'm going to also align it with my texture that I have. You can align it with that really easily with this tool you have in here. Let me bring it down. And that's great. It's going to be really helpful for changing the material part and texture appearance. Click on OK and OK, and that's great. And you can change the cut pattern too. Let's put it on concrete. And also I want a background concrete and a foreground line that I'm going to create. Let's create a new one. Let's put it on parallel lines, and let's put it on 90-degree lines. And for the spaces, I want it to be about maybe 5 millimeter, and then you can change it afterwards. That's okay. Click on OK and OK, and that's great. You can see these two changed because we selected them and created a duplicate. Let's bring them back to ceramic, and now let's go to the floor again, and let's create concrete floors for here, here, and here. Okay, those are the places that we want to place concrete blocks, and make sure to select one of them, and let's bring them in here, and we have them in here too. Let's trim these floors in here, and let's select these walls in this area because we want to place our cores. It needs to be a strong and appropriate material, so let's bring them into. And in here, because we've select this wall in this side, we can select these walls again, so we need to use pick line and press tab in here and pick this line in here, and let's do our cleaning. And for this line, this is not appropriate, so let's pick it by pick line, and let's trim them again. This one is not right too, so let's change them to here. Click on trim, and let's trim them in this part, or you can change the orientation of them really easy with this arrow and with this control button that you have. This area is great, and let's click on finish. We have a problem in this part. Let's trim these two together, and I think everything is okay. Let's click on finish again, and now let's give it an offset by about 2.5 centimeter in here. And now we are good to go, and this one should be concrete block instead of ceramic, and we can use the exact thing in here. Let me turn off the CAD file. You can go to VG and turn off your CAD file, or I am using a Revit shortcut for turning off and turning on imported objects. It is much easier. Let's go to the edit boundary of this one, and let's create another one for this part. Or you can use a rectangle for your rectangle parts. Let's create a rectangle from this side, but this is a little bit hard if you don't have a right corner. So let's use pick lines in here. Press tab a couple times. And now we are good to go. Click on finish, and I don't want to attach anything to it. And now let's select all of these, and let's go to our section box to see them. Let me bring the section box a little bit down, and let's go to see the details in here. This is great, and let's check them by this side too. And now you can see they are at the right place that we have. If you want to have the exact layers and exact joints in here, you need to select your exterior walls, and you need to attach them to the base of here. It is attached, but you can see we have still a problem in here. In a complex project with complex finishes, we create separate walls for personally I create separate walls for structural part and finish part, and I will create different walls next to each other. But for this project you can use for especially for first parts of your design or in earlier design phases, you can create these walls with all of the layers, and then you can just join them. You can go to the modify and join them together, and most of the time it will be okay. Or you can watch the other video that I have about the auto join in Dynamo, and you can join all of the elements automatically without the necessity to do all of these things manually. Now it's time to insert our windows and doors. Let's go to the other model that I have to show you the doors and windows that I'm going to use. They're fairly simple, and you can find most of them in Revit library, and some of them are a little bit modified, but that's not a big thing. You can go to BIM Object and other websites for Revit objects, and you can find them really easily. But for the sake of this tutorial, I'm just going to use these exact families for the places that I have. For example, let me bring this model into my second monitor, and let's go to the ground level in here, and ground floor, sorry, not the ground. Let me close the ground, and let me bring the CAD file back, and in this file I'm going to start from here and create my doors and windows. For example, for the first door that I have, this is this door that we have in here, and then I want to copy it in my project. And now to bring the other families and bring these families to our new project, we have different ways, but the simplest way to bring the types and the modification to, you need to just select them, Ctrl C, and then go to your model, and in here press Ctrl V. Now click on OK, and now you will have your door in here. Let's see it in action, and let's see the dimensions in here, and you can press space to reverse it, and let me place it something like this. Now let's go to 3D and see it in here, and that's okay. The only problem is the material. Let's go in here and let's see the material that we have. Let's go to edit type, and in here we have the material door panel, but I've modified it, so let's find it and let's see what's the asset of it. It is a cardboard asset, and let's find it in the other model. For example, in here, let's select this one, and let's change the door panel material asset to the thing that we saw there. Let's go to the appearance library, wood, and in here let's find that. This is the one that we've used in that project. Let's use it in here too. And also for the other parts, I want to use the same material. So not for the door handle, but for the other parts and for the frame, we want to use the same material. So just click on OK, and now we are not good to go, because you need to go to the edit type and go to the material and make sure that the shaded part is on user render appearance to have the exact color as the material. Click on OK, and now we are good to go, and we have to do the same thing for each part. But this time, before that, let me put this door at the center of in here. To do that, go to the annotation, and here click on align, and let's have 2 dimensions from here to the center of this door. If you could find the center, this is the one, or maybe that's not the one. Let me bring it in here, and let's move it from here and press SM for finding the middle. And now let's bring it at the middle of here. It is a little bit tricky. First of all, let me bring it in here, and let's find the center of this door first. To do that, go to the architecture tab, and let's create a line in here at the middle of this. And now we can move this door by the middle of it. Press SM to find the middle, and let's bring it here. Now it is in exact the middle of these two walls that we have in here. That's great. And now we have to do the same thing for the other parts too. And for the other windows and doors, I will put the doors and windows for you, and all of the files in the description. You can find them for free. But if you want to learn more and you want to practice it better, make sure to find the families by yourself, because you will learn the right way to browse for your families and do the modification in them. And it is much better in comparison with just copying my families. I'm doing it with for the sake of this tutorial, and I'm not going to make this tutorial several hours. Okay, that's great. And now let's do the exact thing for Windows and for the other parts. Control C and Control V in here. Click on OK. And now let's place it in here. And I want the frame outside, so let's click on this and let's bring it in here. And now we can align it. Press Tab and we can align it by here. And now I have the exact mirror of this window in here, so you can select it and in here mirror it from the middle of this door that we have. Press SM to snap to middle, and now mirror it in that way. It doesn't copy because when you are mirroring, you need to check this option in here. Again, let's press SM to find the middle, and now let's create a copy in this side. And then we have some windows in here. To bring those windows, let's go to other model in here. Let me bring it to my second monitor. I will copy it to the project to prevent from any long hours of work. And let's copy this one. Let's go to the ground floor and let's bring this in here. There is a tip in here I want to show you. Let me place it in here. And now I want to place some other and three other windows at the same distance with this one, because it is a curved part and this is an arc wall. It is a little bit hard and can be intimidating to use copy and move. You can use array and circular array, or you can use rotate copy. It depends on you. And let's go on, let's put it on array, and in here make sure to put it on radial in here, and make sure to put it on second mode. And for the place of the rotation, we need to click on place, and we need to find the center of this arc that we have. To do that, go to the margin of this wall and press SC to find the center and click in here. That's great. And now we can click one in here, once in here. Now let me place it a little bit, maybe here, or maybe less. Let me do it another time. Let's go to the array and let's put it on second, and make sure to place the place at the center of this. And from the middle of it, I want to put the middle in here. And now I want 4 of these in this side. And now that's great. Let's go to 3D, and you can see I have all of my windows greatly in here. Or if you are not satisfied with this, you can use rotate copy to have better control, or you can select all of them and you can move them by your num keys and place it, for example, a little bit at this side of the arc. That's great. And then make sure to select them and ungroup them to have the full control on each of them. I will do the same thing for the other sides. We have windows in here. Let me bring the other model to show you the parts that we have. We have these windows in here, and also we have the same windows in here, and doors, and we have lots of windows and doors in this project. And I will put all of the families for you, and it is really easy to place them. And you will do the exact thing for the second floor too. And for some of the places like this, when you can copy them in the second level, for example, if let's assume, let me delete these. let's assume that you've placed these ones and you want to copy them at the upper floor. It doesn't need to be manually, just select them, and in here click on copy, and then click on align to selected levels and select the second level that you have, and it will save you hours of time, or minutes of time we can say in this case, from doing the rework, and it will be more accurate than doing it manually. And before jumping to the next part, you need to know that we have to do the same thing for the interior walls, and there is a tip about interior walls. Let's go to the section in here, and for the interior walls, for the offset, you need to bring it up at the thickness of the finished floor that you have. For example, this is about 4 centimeters, so you need to select your interior wall and bring it up about 4 centimeters to have a right detail, because when you put it on 0, it will go in your finish and it's not the thing that we want. So make sure to assign the offset to your interior walls too, and don't forget the seal height for all of your windows and doors, and make sure to obey the rule that I said about the interior doors too. Before going to the next part, make sure to subscribe to the channel and like this video to help YouTube to reach this video to more people, because these full projects takes a long time to record and to edit them. So make sure to subscribe to the channel and like this video to help me create more tutorials. I've placed all of the doors and windows. Now it's the time to create our roofs, and we have a, we can say, half roof in here, and also we have a really complex roof in here, and this roof is a little bit challenging in comparison with the previous roofs that you've modeled, and it's the combination of 3 or 4 roofs, and that's not a just simple roof to create. And so make sure to watch it carefully. Okay, that's great. Let me bring the CAD in here to analyze the roof we have in here. We have different parts of roofs in here. We have a roof from, let me go to the second level. We have a roof in this part that I am showing you in here. To analyze the roof, we have a separate roof in here. And then we have a roof in here. Let me bring it in here. We have another roof in here, in this side, and we have a circular roof, or we can say a circle roof in here, and we have a dormer at this side, you can see. So first of all, we need to create this roof, this one, and then we need to create this one first, and this one, and we can create this one, and then we can create the dormer, and at the end we can go and create the roof that we have in here, or we can say a half roof that we have in here at the end. So let's go and let's create the roof. Okay, that's great. Let's go to the top view, and let's go to the top view from the view cube in here, and let's create our first roof that we have in this side. To do that, let's go to the architecture tab, and in the architecture tab click on roof, and I want to create a roof by footprint. You can see we can't create the roof because the work plane is not set correctly. So let's go to the set work plane, and in here select the bottom of roof in here. Let's go to bottom of roof, and that's great. Click on OK, and now we have our work plane set correctly, and then click on roof again. And in here, make sure to put it on, we can put it on peak wall or peak line. I want to work with peak line in here because I have more freedom. Then I want a overhang about maybe 1.5 meters. And now let's create our overhang from this side, 1.5 is a little bit too high. Let's put it on maybe 1 meter. Okay, that's great. Let's put it in here, and we want a edge in here, and also we have the exact thing in here. So I'm going to use trim for this side, and that's great. Let's trim these lines together. For example, this with this, and this with this. Click on finish, and now we have our first roof in here, but we need to check the height of the roof. You can select the roof and you can bring it down to the exact height or top of the height that you want. And for this side, it is okay for everything. We will do some cuttings afterwards, so don't worry about that. Now let's create our second roof, which is this side. Let me hide this one for now, and let's create another roof for this side. Let's use peak line in here. You can see there is a little bit difference between this line and this line, but I'm going to consider that they are same because it will be so harder to create that kind of roof. Okay, let's put it on peak line and let's put it on 1 meter for offset or overhang. And now let's create our lines, one for here and one for here. And for this side, we will have a dormer from this face to this face. So our first face should be in here. So I will create a dormer for this face afterwards. Okay, that's great. We have our lines for here too, and let's create them for this side, and we want to pick this side too. And now let's trim these four together. And now that's great. Click on finish, and now let's go to the front view and let's bring the height down to the exact place that we want, and let's bring the other roof that we had. And now it's the time to do some cutting in here. We need to do 2 cuts in here. The first one should subtract the in this one we need to subtract this part, and in this one we need to subtract this part. To do the voids and to create the cuts, you need to go to the architecture tab, and I'm going to use the vertical. It's much simpler than model in place. Click on a vertical cut and select this roof first, and now let's create our cut. You can see we want these edges. It doesn't snap unfortunately, so you need to eyeball it in here. Let me bring it in here and let's move it a little bit, maybe this side, and let's check the end. We need to change the angle a little bit. You can see the snap doesn't allow us to move the angle in here. There is a tip in here. Press SX. It will free your snap so you can eyeball it better. Okay, that's great. And now let's mirror it from the center of this roof in here, and let's mirror and copy it, and that's great. And now let's create a straight line from this side and from this side, and let's trim these two together. And because I want to cut these parts too, so I need to continue this line from this side, or you can mirror it because they are same. Let's mirror it, and the angle is same. Let's mirror it from the end of this line, and now that's great, guys. And let's create another line for this. This is okay, and let's click on, let me check this side. Okay, that's great. Click on finish, and let's trim these two together too, and then click on finish. And now let me isolate this one for us. Let's isolate both of them. From here, isolate element. Now you can see we've cut the first one. Now we need to cut this one too to have our roof exactly that in exact shape that we need. Let's bring all of the elements back from here, reset temporary. And now let's create the other roof that we had. Let me isolate this for a second. Okay, that's good. The cut is happened. And now let's create the vertical cut for this roof in here. Let's go to the architecture tab, click on vertical, and select this one this time. And now let's eyeball it again. You need to eyeball it again, guys. It doesn't snap. Unfortunately, press SX again to eyeball it better. And now that's great. And create a straight line in here, and then you can mirror this one by pressing DM from the center of this roof at this side. And then let's trim these two together and make sure to move it a little bit outer to the edge, and don't put it at the edge. Sometimes it causes problems. And now for this side, it is a little bit it's not really different. Let's mirror it from the center of this roof and check it afterwards. That's okay with this size, and let's check it for this size too. That's great, and click on finish, and that's great, guys. Let's isolate these two together and see if we've achieved to the thing that we are looking for. You can see it is a really lovely roof, and I really loved the result, and I'm really satisfied with the result. Let's reset the reset temporary. Now it's time to create our circular roof. In here to do that, click on roof, press CS for create similar, and let's pick this face in here, and then let's go to the top view. And the tip is here, you need to select your arc and then extend it to the other end, and now you can have a full circle in here, or you can just create a circle in this side. And then I want a 1 meter overhang, so let's go to the offset, and in here make sure to put it on numerical, and let's input 1 meter, and then make sure to uncheck the copy to, and let's create a 1 meter overhang in here. Let's click on finish, and now you can specify the height of it if you want. You can't just bring it up or down. Let's go to the CAD file and let's check it. You can see it's a little, it's below the other roof, so it is okay for us. If you want to change the top height of it, you need to go to the edit extrusion and select it, and in here you can change the slope of it. Let's put it on 15 degree, and now it will be much lower, in much lower elevation instead of in comparison with the previous one. Let's put it on 25. Okay, I like it right now. And then we need to subtract these parts from this one. So to do that, we have two way actually. We have one way in this place. First, we need to subtract these parts. You can see the highlight. These parts from this one, and also we need to subtract these parts from these two roofs. So let's select one of them, and let's go to the edit extrusion, and not the edit extrusion, sorry. Let's go to the architecture tab, click on vertical, and let's select this one. Now carefully just select these parts that you have in here. Let's select them. It's a little bit harder than the previous one. Press SX, and that's great. And in here we have a, let me zoom out. In here we have a curve. Let's switch to curve. The start is in here, and the end, let's press SX, and the end is here, and let's put it at the exact position of the curve that we have. Let's zoom a little bit. Now I'm happy with it, and let's do the exact thing from this end to this end, and let's put the arc on the exact position. Zoom in to see it more accurate in here, and that's great, guys. And now for here I need a straight line, so let's just extend it to here. You can use SX again, and that's great. And from here let's close this part and make sure it is much bigger than the parts that are intersecting with the other roofs. Let's trim these with this, and let's click on finish. Or we have a line in this side. I don't need to trim this with this. I have to trim this with this. Let's Control Z. Let's undo one time, and let's trim this one with this one, and this one with this one. Let's extend it a little bit to the outside. Let's click on finish. You can see it's giving us an error. Let's see what is saying. Can cut host for inserted object. Let's see what's the problem in here. Let's click on cancel, and let's see it in here, and let's go to the wireframe mode. Or let's do another thing that I have in my mind. Let's pick these lines in here, and let's delete this one, and let's delete this one too. And let's trim this one with this, and this one with this, and let's click on finish. And now it's great. Not that great. I want these parts too. That wasn't the thing that I was looking for. Let's go back and let's go to the shaded mode. Yeah, that's the thing I'm looking for. That's great. Click on finish and let's delete this one, or we need to trim these together. Click on finish and now that's okay. And now I need to create a vertical cut for these parts of this roof that you can see the highlight of it under the circular roof, and also I need to cut the highlighted part under the circular roof for this one too. To do that, again, let's go to the architecture tab, click on vertical, and now let's select this one, and in here you need to select this edge in here. Fortunately, we can pick some of them. Let's pick this one, and I think it is a spline. We can't work with spline in here. Let's use arcs in here. We need to create the exact arc that we created previously. You can see the edges are not that perfect, but they do the thing that we want, and we don't have any other way to do it, so you need to accept it. Now that's great, and I think that's okay. Let me just create a boundary in here and we will see it afterwards. Click on finish and let me see it. It's okay. It's okay. By chance it was okay. And for this one we need to do the same thing too. Click on finish, and we have some problems in here. Let's see. Let's create a line from this part. I think the verticals are overlapping, and that's the problem that we have. Let's create this one like this. Let's trim these together and click on finish together, and now we are good to go. And now we have a great connection in here. Let's select all of the roofs that we have, and now let's isolate them and see them. As I said, the edges are not that perfect in here, but they are pretty satisfying and I like it. And now the last part that we have is our dormer on our top roof, and then we have we can say, I will call it half roof at the first floor too. Let's bring back the other elements, and now we need to create a dormer in this side. To do that, let's go to the let's select our roof in here, but right now I need to create a roof by extrusion. Let's pick a plane and let's pick this plane, and the level is not really that important in here, and the slope should be the exact slope that we have in here, but the only difference is that it will be much smaller. Let's pick these two together and then select them and scale them. Let's scale them from this side to this side to the smaller part that we need. Maybe this amount would be great, and let me create a auxiliary line in here, and let's create a perpendicular line. Make sure it is perpendicular, and now let's move all of them from this line to the middle of this part that we have. That's great. And now let's see if the dimension is okay with me. Let's see. Let's check it in AutoCAD file. It should be a little bit smaller. Let me make it smaller in here. We can use offset too. Let's go to the offset and let's put it on 1 meter, and let's see. Now 1 meter is a lot. Let's put it on 30 centimeter. I think that would be great. And now let's click on finish. Now I want this edge to be in here, so let's move it from here to here, and that's great. Now I need to join this this roof that I have. Let me bring it in. This roof that I have in here to this part, and then I need to attach our walls at the bottom of the roof that we have. First of all, let's go to the modify tab, and here let me bring this roofs out first, and now use the roof joint that we have in here. Select your roof and then select the house roof, and now you have your roof in here. But the next part is our dormer. Because we don't have any wall in here, we have to use our vertical part in here. So let's go to the architectural part and click on vertical, and select this roof in here. And now we need to create a CAD for this roof that we have in this side. It is better because you can select the edges of it, because it's pre-cut for the other roof. Click on finish, and now it's great, guys. Now let's select these 3 walls that we have in here, and then attach it to the bottom of this wall that we have. And now we have our dormer 2, and the next and the last roof that we want to model in this project is the half roof that we have in here, we can say, because it's open behind of it. I call it half roof because of that. And now let's see how we can model that. The next roof is a little bit tricky. Let's go to the roof in here, and now let's put the level on level 1 or level 2 in here. And in here we can create a boundary, something like this for this one. Because it doesn't work, we need to do a trick in here. First, let's go to the pick line and make sure to put the overhang on something like maybe 1 meter to see it is okay for me. 1 meter is okay. Let's put it on 1 meter and 1 meter for each side. And also we need to do the same thing for this part, because I can't find this part. So let's select this one, and let's go to the mirror and make sure to check the copy on. And now let's mirror it in here. Click on finish and finish. Click on finish again, and now it's okay. Now we need to do our cutting. How we can do that? Again, we can do it with vertical. Vertical is our friend in this project. Let's go to the architecture tab and click on vertical, select this roof, and now let's go to the level 2 plan to sit in the CAD view. We can't see the CAD view in here, it's bad. So let's bring the CAD view back, and now let's go to the architecture tab, vertical again, and let's select this one, and our roof should be up to here. Yeah, this is great, and up to here. And now let's create this boundary in here, and just creating it to the outside of this part. It's not really important. Click on finish, and let's go to 3D. Let's go to this 3D, and now we hadn't to cut this part. Let's go back, and for this part we need to bring the cut in this part. Let me bring it in here and in here, and let's trim these parts together. Press TR, and now I think we are good to go. Let's click on finish, or we need to bring it a little bit forward, maybe this part, and let's see what is happening. There's a problem in here. Let's go to the cut part again, click on finish, and now I need to dimension the exact dimension that we have from in here. It is about 1.95. so let's go to the pick line and put it on 1.95 and create a line from this part. And now let's trim these two together, and this side too. Click on finish, and now we have our things in here, but there is a problem. You can see we have a slope in this part, and also we have some problems in here. What we can do for this part, it's not that hard. Let me select the cut in here, and we need to align this with this, and we are good to go with this part. But I have a problem with this side that we have. We have two ways. We can go to the edit extrusion, and we can bring this line to in here. Now we are good to go, but we need to go to the vertical again, and we need to do something in this part too. And I think it will be okay. Let's delete this one and see the results. It's not that great. Let's go to the pick line again, and let's bring it outside. And now that's great, and that's the thing that we want. You can do this, or you can do some other things. For example, you can create a sweep with model in place from this side to this side. And now there is a problem because for the big overhang that we have a problem in this side. We need to attach it to here, or we can bring our roofs a little bit lower to have a okay, we can say connection to this part. Let me bring it in here, or let's go to a section for this one, and let's bring the section box in here, and let's bring it in, and let's see it in section. Okay, that's great for me. And let's turn off the section box and see the results. If it is okay with you, you can work with it. Or if it's not, and you want to bring these edges upper than the elevation that they are right now, you can go to the edit extrusion, and then you can select all of these lines in here. And for the slope, you can change the slope of them, for example, to something sharper, maybe 45, and click on finish. And now you will have them in much higher elevation, or let me put it on maybe 35, a little bit higher than their existing shape right now. And then again, let's check them in section for the exact height of them. In section, we need to bring them a little bit down, or you can expand these floors to the roof, or you can create any specific detail that you have. It depends on you. Let's turn off the section box. I'm okay with it, or I need to bring it a little bit up, and then you can expand these roofs to this roof if you want. And these are the roofs that we have in this project, and I'm really satisfied with these roofs. And now is the time to work on our facade and to do some model in place and add some details to our facade. Now I'm here with another close because it's another day, so make sure to smash that like button to make sure that this video will reach to more people, and it will help me to create more videos like this. Okay, let's see, and let's create the elements that we have for our facade. The first element, and one of the main elements that we have, is our columns that we have. For example, let me bring the facade in here. We have our columns in here. Some of them are extended from the base floor to the roof, and some of them are from base floor to first floor, and also first floor to roof. So we need to create a column because we don't have enough time in here. I'm going to use a ready to use family that's this one, and it is parametric, so you can change the height of it, and also you can change the material of it. I will put the family in the exercise files. You can download them from the link in the description. Okay, let's go to the edit family of this one, and let's load it to the new project that we have. And that's great. And now let's place them in here. To place them, we can go to we can create them in 3D, or you can go to plans. Let's go to the architecture tab, and in here click on this drop down in here, and make sure to select the column architectural or architectural column, and then select the column that you want to bring. This is the column that I'm going to use. Let me bring this in, and let me place it in here. Now the first columns that we want to place in north elevation are two columns that are extended from the base floor to the roof. So let's go to the, let me put it on level 1 to bottom of roof in here. And now we have this column, and let's go to the plan, and let's make sure that we've placed them to the right place. They're going to be in here, somewhere in here. So let me bring it in this place. We don't have the exact placement of them right now, so let me place it in this corner, and let's create a mirror with pressing the M from the middle of here that we have. We can use this arcs in here. I don't know this is the exact middle or not. You can work with this too, or that's okay. And now we have our two columns in here that we had. Let me bring this in here. Now we can see our two columns in here. And also there is a thing that we forgot about this roof. We need to bring it forward. It has the overhang in here. Let me bring the roof to here. Also we will have a model in place in here, so it will be a little bit forward from the situation that we have in here, so it will cover the columns very nice, so we don't have any other modification to do in here. Then let me bring the CAD in here and we can see the CAD at the same time. Then we have these columns in here, and let's go and let's place the columns in here. Revit file, and in here we can see the and it is really bad because we can't see the exact placement of columns in our plan, and the CAD file don't specify the exact places for here, so we need to work with our mine in here. We have to place it in this corner, so let's create another one and let's place it in this corner, and also make sure to place them in near and next to the wall. And in this one, for this one, I need to put it from the level 1 to level 2 right now. And to copy it to the second level, just go to the modify tab and click on copy to clipboard. And in here, click on align to selected levels and make sure to put it on level 2. And now we have these two. We will do some modification in here afterwards because we have a model in place and we have a mullion in here. So we will we need to modify it afterwards. So but right now it is okay for me. And now for this one, let's go to the front view and we need to create a mirror from this middle axis of our roof. To do that, let's set our work plane to this face that we have, and then select both of these columns that we have in here, and then let's mirror it from the middle of the roof from this side, and make sure to check the copy. And now let's see the results, and it's okay. You can go in plan and can check it in plans too. It's okay for me, and now that's great. And now I will put place all of the columns, and then we continue with the other tools that we have. I will place all of the columns that we have in here. We have some columns in here, also in other elevations we have all of the columns, and some of them are extended from the base to the top, and some of them are in just one level, or they are separated by the level. I will create them and we will continue the session. As I said, we have different ways to create these frames, but right now, for the sake of this video, I'm going to use model in places, but make sure to assign the right category. Let's go to the components, and in here click on model in places because I want to schedule them in walls, so I will choose walls in here. And then you can name it whatever you want, and let me bring these facade in here. Let's go to the north elevation in here, and then we have, for example, these extrusions in here, and then we have a sweep in this part. We have a frame in here which we will create with sweep. Also we have a frame from here to here, and we have frames for each window and door that we have, and you can create them in family, or we can work it. We can deal with them right here. Okay, first of all, let's create this extrusion and this sweep that we have. Let's go to our Revit file, and here let's create our extrusion. I will put the CAD file in my second monitor, or you can bring your CAD file in here too, but I don't want to do that right now. So let's just bring the CAD file. Let's just create an extrusion in here. Before doing anything, let's set our work plane in this side, and let's pick the opening in here. And I want to offset about maybe 1 meter. Let's check. Let's test 1 meter. It is too big. Let's test 0.5. Okay, that's great. Let's create a 0.5 offset from each side, and let's trim these two with pressing TR, and now we are good to go. And also I will do a modification at the top, because it's not that for the top it's not about 1 meter, it's not about 0.5, it is a little bit smaller. So let me bring it down for this for the design that we have, and that's great. And then let's click on finish. But before that, we have some joints in here, so let's create them too. We have 4 joints in here. Let me model them in here. And the distance, it will be good about this size that I have. I will copy it 1 meter by 1 meter, or let's check what is the minimum, what is the optimal way, maybe 0.5. And let's copy them, bring the mouse in here and press 0.5 multiple times, and now we are good to go. And then the next thing we want to do is to select all of these, and let me bring it down a little bit, because I want this line to be about somewhere in here, and that's great. And let's mirror these by pressing DM from the center of this arc that we have, and then we need to split these parts to be able to trim them properly. Okay, now that's great. Click on finish. We have a problem down there. Let me trim these two together too, and also we will have these problems in here because I've mirrored them this side. So let's click on finish, and for the thickness, about maybe 5 centimeter or 4 centimeter would be great for me right now. Let me press 4 centimeter, and now I want to create a mullion in here, and I want to create a molding in here. I think you would name it molding. Let's create one. Let's go to create, and in here click on sweep and click on peak pass, and we can choose these edges that we create them for this extrusion, and now we can use them as our basis for creating our sweep. And then because they are in same plane, we can press TR and we can trim them like this, and also you can select one of those and you can extend it to the bottom in here. Also we have another one for this side. Okay, that's great. And now we have to bring our profile. Let me bring the profile at this top. Then let's go to the select profile and edit profile. We have 2 ways in here, or you can create the profile in family and load it for every time. That's a better option. Or you can create it in here and can Control C and Control V every time. So because we want to prevent from doing any rework, let's create our profile family outside of the project. To do that, let's go to the file menu, and in here click on new, and let's go to the family, and in here we want to go to the annotation. Let's put it on details, and we want to find metric profile. We don't have it in here, sorry. We need to find it in here, metric generic profile or metric profile. That's great. This is the one that I need, and this is the center of the profile. I want my profile to be at the first region in here, and at the top and right of the profile, because it's a optimum way to do it. And for here, let me maybe about 5 centimeter. It is in millimeters, so let's adjust it to meter. Let's do it again. Use these lines that we have in here, not the detail line, and let me bring it about 5 centimeter. That's great. And I want an edge in here about because the extrusion is about 5 centimeter, we need to do it more, maybe 8 centimeter. And let's give it an edge in this side, and let's bring it done about 2 centimeter, and let's create a curve in this part. I want to create a curve in this part, also another curve in here. Also we can do a fillet in here to have a better edge in this side. Click on fillet and select these 2 lines. Let's create a fillet in this side, and let's close it because it needs to be a closed boundary. You can't create a profile with open boundary. And let's select all of these and let's bring it up a little bit, maybe. That's great, and let's save it. I won't put this one in the exercise, so make sure to create it by yourself. Let's put it on molding 1. Okay, that's great. Let's bring it in our project. Let's load it in here, and let's see if we can find it. To see if that was imported or not, let's close this area in here. And here click on select profile, and in here you need to find your profile that you've created. The name of it was molding. You can see we don't have it in here because in the usage and in the profile usage, let's put it on maybe wall sweep, or maybe that would work. Let's load it again, and let's see if we can find it in here. Okay, now you can see we have it in here. Let's select it. Now there are some problems in this side. We need to have a rotation, maybe 90 degree or maybe minus 90 degree. And for the placement it is great. Let's click on finish, and now we have our profile. There is a big problem, and the height of this profile is too low. I need a bigger profile. Let's bring it up maybe twice the thing that we have in here, and let's bring these parts up. We can't bring it in here. Let's create it again. Another part in here. Also I want to have a small detail in this side, and in this part maybe a really small detail, something like this. And let's connect it together, and let's load it again. Let's see the results, and it is better right now. And for these parts I will adjust, and I will create a new material for them. It will be white right now because I want the exact material that our columns have, but I will assign it later. And then let's create our parts for other parts that we have. For example, let's do the exact thing for our door in here too. To do that, again, let's go to the create tab, and here click on sweep and pick path, and let's select the edges of this door that we have, and let's bring the profile place in this side, and click on finish. Let's go to the select profile, and let's bring the molding, and you can see we have a problem again. Yeah, 270 was the right number, and also in here we need to flip it. So click on flip, and it will be at the right place. Click on finish, and now you have your profile. I will do the same thing for other windows, and for the doors that we have, you can check it by the CAD file. You can see we have some places like this, and also you can see we have some additional places like this. These places are extrusions, and these places are sweeps. For example, let me create it for this frame in here, and then for the rest you will do it by yourself, and we will continue after that. But for this one, let's go to the extrusion again, create extrusion. But before that, let's set our work plane on this face that we have, and I want about maybe 20 centimeter offset from this side and from this side, and we will have this line in here too from our ground. And let's trim them together. Press the R, and let's trim this one with this one, and this one with this one. And for the top I want another one, but you can see a problem in here. Let's see our CAD file in here. In our CAD file, it is at the middle of this. It will be at the middle, but the column will be in front of the window. So you can change the placement of your column, and you can bring them a little bit in to see the windows. But let's create them first, and then we will talk about that too. Let me create our curve in here, maybe a little bit upper. That's great. Click on finish, and now you need to subtract the windows parts too. So let's click on rectangle in here, and let's create a rectangle from this end to this end, also from this end to this end. If you want to work more precisely, you need to subtract these parts too. You need to pick these lines and trim them with the rectangle that you've created. For example, let's trim this one with this one, trim this one with this one, and it will be more accurate, and it will have better, we can say better appearance, but it takes time a little bit. So it depends on you and the level of detail that you want. Let's click on finish, and now you can see the difference in here. In this side, you can see we don't have the edge in here. Let's put it on 4 centimeter, and then you will do this sweep from this side to this side and the other parts. So that was it, and I will create other extrusion and sweeps that we have in our facade for the windows and doors, and then we will go back and we will come back and we will do some special parts. Let me show you the special parts that we have. Yeah, the special parts are in here. You can see it's a little bit different, and it will rotate from this side and this side. Also, we have some sweeps for our roof part, and then we'll do it together. Now I've created all of the mullions around the doors and on walls. You can see the extrusion parts in here. Also, we have frames for all of the doors and windows that we have, and it brought the model a little bit to life, and it is much better. And also, the next part that we want to take is to create this edge that we have in this part. You can see from this part, and also we have the exact edge at the roof, and also we have it on our roofs too. So let's learn how we can create it, because it's a little bit complicated in here. We need to do it by sketch, so let's create them by sketch. But before that, let's create it for our roof first, and then we'll go and we'll create it for our other parts too. For our roof, you can see it is starting, for example, from here. It will come in here, and it will rotate it will end in here, and we will have another mullion and molding for our dormer in this part. And again, we will start the previous profiles from here, and it will rotate around all the way around, and we will have it in these sides too, and it is a fixed part in other parts. So let's create that. First, let's go to the modeling palette that we have in here, and we want to create it at the same modeling palette. It's not that great, but for the sake of this video, I'm going to do that. Let's click on sweep, and the problem is that because some of them are not exactly aligned, and they maybe have about 5 millimeter difference between them, it is impossible to do it with picture the pass. So we needed to do it by hand, and we need to do it by sketch. So let's close it, and let's go to our sketch pass, and in here let's set our work plane to our bottom of roof, and in here let's go to our plane in here, and now let's pick the edges of the roofs that we have, and then we need to trim them and split them, but that's not a big problem, and that's really easy. And let's pick this edge in here, this edge in here, and let's trim these lines together with pressing TR. Okay, that's great. Let's pick this edge too, and let's trim these two together. And for this side, I need to split it, and I need to extend it by these lines. For example, let me pick one and pick this one, and let's extend it with pressing EX, this line to here, or we can just drag it because it is much easier. And let me delete this one, and let's drag this one to here too. And let's delete this one. And we have a problem in here because we don't have the line, so let's pick it again. Let's pick this line again. We can split them too, but it is not a big difference right now. Let me trim these together, and let's trim this one with this. I can see a problem in here. So first, before doing any trimming, make sure to extend it to more than the line that we have in here, and then trim them. It will have a better behavior. Okay, that's great. This is the path that I need. Let me bring it to this side. Let's click on finish. And now for this one, because we need another profile, I will do that in the projects to exercise both of them. Let's click on edit profile, and let's go to the front view, and let's create our profile in this side. This is the edge of the roof. Let's go maybe about 10 centimeter in front. It is too small. Let me make it bigger, maybe 30 centimeter. And then let's create our profile in this side. I want to bring it to somewhere like here at the top of at our level. I think it was a little bit lower than our bottom of the roof. Now let's bring it in here, and then this is our baseline. And now let's create our profile in here. I don't want to make it too thin at the bottom, so I don't progress backward too much. So let's go to the arc in here, and let's create an arc profile. In this side, also we can fillet these places too if you want. It depends on you. And that's great. And let's trim these two together, and let's close our line from here, and let's trim this one with this one, and that's great. Let's click on finish and finish. Now we have our molding around the roof. You can see I want them to be a little bit forward, because it is edge to edge by our column, so I want them to cover my column completely. So let's go to the edit profile level. Let's go to select profile and edit profile, and let's bring this part a little bit forward, and let's click on finish and finish. Now it is much better in comparison with the previous one that we have. Or you can move your column nearer to wall if you can. Okay, that's great. And we need to do exact thing for our for this side too. Let's go and analyze it for our first floor too. You can see it has the exact path, I think. So let's copy it, and let's see if that would work for our first floor too, and then we can modify it too. It doesn't work obviously because we have some edges in here, but we can modify it and it will be much faster. Let's go to the front, and let's copy it to this edge, and that's great. And now let's select it, and let's go to the edit sweep, and let's go to the sketch path, and I will modify the path, and then we will continue. I was picking the path, and there is a tip in here. You need to finish this one. Let's go and see the CAD file. Let's see it in here. In here you can see it will finish in here, or maybe it doesn't, because it will rotate it. It will rotate from this side of the roof, and it will continue from here. So I will continue the picking. Let's pick this part too, this part, and this part. I pick all of the parts that we need, and then let's go to our top view, and now we have to do our trim things. Let's split the line in here, and let's trim this one with this one. Let's trim this one with this one, and this one with this one, this one with this one. And let's go in here. Let's trim this with this. This is okay in here. We need to trim this one with this one, and it will rotate from here to here. And let's trim this with this one with this one, and we'll continue to here. I think it is okay. Let's press tab once and let's see if all of them are connected. They are great. And let's click on finish and finish. And because we have the profile in here, it is okay and we won't have any problem. And make sure to don't cut your columns in the places that you want them to extend from the bottom to the top. And now we have this part. Let's click on finish and let's pick up the material that I've created for this one. Control C. Let's click on finish. Let's go to the edit type of it and let's assign that material to here to have them in the exact color that I had. And now we want to create, let me assign it to this one too. And now I will create, we need to create those parts that we had for here. It is a little bit trickier, guys. Let's go to our north and we need to create a profile that would start from here, that would rotate to here, and it will go up and it will rotate in this side, and also it will rotate from here. Let me bring it into my second monitor and let's see what we can do. To model this part, we will have to get help of extrusion in here. To do that, let's go and let's create an extrusion. Let's set our work plan in this part. Let's create the exact extrusion and the exact path that we want to take there. For example, let's bring it in here, and in this side I want to go in here and we want to connect it to the roof line. Let's pick the roof line and let's trim these two together, and let's mirror these two from the center of the roof, and that's great. And also let's create our line from here to here, and now that's a extrusion that we want. We can hide it afterwards because we need it, guys, because it's a little bit hard to create that sweep without this extrusion. Let's go and let's click on finish, and now the thickness is not really that important, so don't worry about it, but make sure that it is at the same face with the roof that you have, and then we are good to go. It is great, guys. Let's bring the dimension of the extrusion, the depth of the extrusion to a low number, maybe 1 centimeter. Is really important. Let's go to create and let's click on sweep and let's pick our path from here, and then maybe from here, and let's select this part and let's select these edges. I created this extrusion to be able to pick that edges that we needed to create our extrusion. Let's select this edge, this edge. This is kind of a frame and framework that we want to create our swings at the top of it. Let's trim these together. Let's go and see at the front of the project. You can see we have a problem because they are not at the same level. So we need to do some modification and quick modification to our extrusion, and they need to be at the same level. So let's go to our modification and let's go to our extrusion and do some modification. Let's move this line from here to here. And also I will do the exact thing for this side. And now we're okay with the extrusion. Let's do that again. Let's go to sweep and let's pick pass, and let's pick these passes that we have in here too. Make sure to pick all of the exterior edges of this extrusion, and that's great. This part, and also this part. Let's click on trim and let's trim these two together, and you can see we can trim them right now because they are at the exact and at the same level. Let's click on finish, and because I want to use the exact profile that I've used in here, I will create a simple profile right now. Let's create a simple profile right now. Click on finish, click on finish. Then I will go to this sweep, and then let's go to the select profile and edit profile, and let's copy this profile, Control C, click on finish, finish, and finish. And then let's go to this profile that we have, and again let's click on select profile, edit profile, and let's press Control V, and it is off, so we need to, let's press tab once and let's bring it maybe in here, and we need to do a mirror and make sure to turn off the copy. Then let's move it from this part to this part, and it needs to go lower at the same level that we have our other modeling. From here, let's move it to here, and let's click on finish and finish. Now there is a big problem that we are facing, because the edges are too high, the edges of this extrusion, and our molding is in intersection with our roof. So the thing that we can do is to go to the extrusion, and let's bring down the extrusion to this one. Maybe let's click on finish. It is too high. Let's maybe bring it to here. Click on finish and finish, and we have a problem in these columns that we have, because these places are not covering our columns. We can do a little bit modification to our design in here for the sake of this video. Let's select these and let's go to the left elevation, and let's bring these to the edge of this one, and let's check them in the other elevation to see if they are not intersecting with the walls. Let's bring it in here. Also, let's do the same thing, or we can create a mirror from this one to have the exact one at the other side. It is not, I didn't check the copy. Let's do it again. Let's do a mirror and make sure to check the copy on. Now that's great, guys. And now we can join these two together. Let's go to the edit in place, and let's join this one with this one. It doesn't work, so let's unjoin them, and let's select this one. Let's go to the material and select the material that I'm looking for. This is the material. Click on finish. Now we are good to go. And also we can do some modification to this roof that we have. Maybe we could reduce the overhang that we have in here to make it a little bit better. Let's go and bring it here, and maybe a little bit forward. Okay, that's great, guys. And now it is much better. And now we've created this part too, and now we can create some other parts that we have. Or maybe let's see what we can do with this side again. Maybe, no, that's okay. I'm okay with it. Okay, now this is this part that we have, and also you can create an extrusion to close these parts in here if you want, and this is optional, but I think it will give it a better look. Let's go to the edit in place of this one that we have, and let's create an extrusion, and let's pick these lines that we have. Let's trim them, and let's create an extrusion. Okay, that's great. I don't care about the depths right now. Let's select it, and let's create a mirror from the middle of the roof. And after that, let's select them, and let's assign the exact material that we want, this one. And now it is much better. Also, for the edges of this roof, we can click on finish. Let's click on finish. Let's go to the roof, and let's click on edit profile. We can make it a little bit maybe smaller, but the problem is because we've used the peak pass option in the sweep, you can do it. But the other thing that you can do is to go to the left view. You need to bring it at the sweep, maybe this part, and I think it is better in comparison with the first option that we had. And now I'm really satisfied with the result in this short period of time. And now we have to do some other things that we can do for this part, because let's go and see the facade that we have in here. We have some balconies in here, and we have some entrance in these parts too. And let's go and let's create them. To create them, let's go to the level 1 and let's save the project. Let's go to level 1 and let's turn off we want the CAD files, and don't turn off them. And in here, click on architecture, click on floor, and let's create a floor that we have. Or the better thing is to click on finish. Let's quit sketching and let's select the structural floor that we've created for here. And from this one, click on copy the align to same place, and then click on edit boundary. And then we want to create an outside boundary, and it will subtract this part from this one here. So that will be much easier. Let's go to level 1, and now let's create our other part of balcony that we need. Or we can just extend this, but because the thickness are different, so we need to create another one. And also there is a problem with this method that we've used, because my next floor will be started from this face, not this face. So you need to do, the other thing you need to do is to, let's measure this. This size is about 19 centimeter. Let's go to the offset and make sure to uncheck the copy. Let's put it on 19 centimeter, and let's create an offset from all of the lines. You can see we can't do it, so we need to do it manually, and some of them will go inside, so be careful about it. Also, let's uncheck the thin line to see them better. I will do the rest, and we will continue this session. Now I did the offset. I want about maybe this amount. Let's see what is about 80 centimeters. So let's create an offset with copy, or you can use peak line with about 80 centimeter. Let's put it on 0.8, and then let's create one in this side. I wanted it this side too, and then we will have a stair in this side. So let's create it in here. You need to do it for each line. Sometimes the tab will work in here, but because we have too many lines in here, it doesn't work right now. Let's bring it. Let's create one for here, one for here. Sometimes it will pick the wrong place, so be careful about it. And you can see there is not a problem. Let's pick it, and in here we have a bigger area, so let's pick this area instead for this place. And let's create these parts, and then we will continue it from here, or we can continue it from here too, or from this line to the outside. Let's put it on 0.8, and let's create it to the outside face. Also, let's create one for this part. Now that's great. Let's do some trimming, and we'll do it really easily in here. Let's trim with this one, trim this one with this one. It is not that great because we need to do some modification. First of all, we need to trim this one with this one, and then this one with this one, and then this one with this one. Okay, that's the right one. And let's trim this one with this one, and then trim this with this, And in here, let's trim this one with this. But then we have the lines in here. I will create the margin in every place in this side too. And for this one, this is it will end in here. And then we need to trim these two together. And also let's press tab once, and we have some additional lines in here too. Let's delete them. And in this side, let's create a line from here to 80 centimeter outside. And let's go in here and let's trim this with this and this with this. And also we need the last line in this part. Okay, that's great. Click on finish. We have some additional lines, I think, in here. Yeah, let's delete them too. Let's click on finish, and I don't want to attach anything to it. Let's go to 3D, and in this part you can see we have our margin floor in here, and the thickness of it should be at the same level and at the same thickness to the ground floor. So it is 144, so the thickness should be 144. Let's go to the edit type and let's duplicate and let's name it 144. And but before duplicating, let's make sure to put it on concrete tiling or concrete. The second one was this concrete. We need to rename it. Let's rename it to concrete tile. And then let's create a duplicate from this one, and let's add 144, a number to it, and let's put it on. Let's do it in just one layer. Let's bring this one to down, and let's delete this one. Let's put it on 144. I'm not going to waste my time on my thicknesses right now, and it is okay for me. I just want to have the regional floor, and we have the exact thing for these parts too. If you would go to the level 1, you can see it. We have that in here. It will start from here and it will continue from here, and it will end in here. Also we have it in this part too, or we can go to the edit boundary of this one and let's pick other lines that we have in here. Now I can create the other margin floors in here at the same edit boundary that we have. Good, let's go to the edit boundary and let's create our lines in here. Now let's pick this one and pick this one, and I need about 80 centimeter offset because I need to rotate it from this side, or you can make it smaller for this side because it doesn't have any exact columns to host over it, so you can use a smaller number, maybe about 30 centimeter would be okay, I think. Let's put it on 30 centimeter and let's create a offset with 30 centimeter in this side. And but for this part we need 80 again. Let's put it on 80 and let's finish these lines. And that was about this one. Let's click on finish. Now I think we are done with our marginal floors. Let's see it and let's check them it will start from here. We will have them in here. We will have a ramp in this side, and then this is great, and we will have a stair in this side, and I think they are great. And also we will have a railing in here, and it will be a balcony. We will have furnitures, and we will have a stair in here again, and that's great. And also to know the context of the project a little bit better, I want to create our topography. To create our topography, I'm not going to take too much time, but let's go to our top view and let's go to the massing answer. It's just going to be a simple topography, and let's collect of them and let's place some points. Yeah, we have our section box. That's the problem. Let's click on finish. Let's turn off our section box, and let's go to the edit surface again. Let's go to our top view. Let's place some other points in this side and in this side. And also it is a little bit slopey, and we have I don't know the slopey word is correct or not. We have a slope in here, and for our front side it is a little bit downer, a little bit lower in comparison with the other side. So let's go to our right view, and let's select these parts in here. This is the front side. Yeah, let's keep the front side a little bit higher, and also for the other part, let me bring these lines upper, maybe this part. I think it will be a good part to have a context about this. Also, you can modify this side after placing the stairs, and then you can modify them too. And this is just to have a context. You can create a building path for your building and do some other modification, but I'm not going to spend lots of time on this topography. Now let's create our ramp that we have in here. We have a ramp for this side, and also we have a problem in this side. You can see in here the boundary should be ended in this side. So let's select it, and let's click on edit boundary, and let's assign this one with this one, and that's great. And now let's click on finish, and now let's create our ramp. I'm going to create my ramp with my floors, so I'm not going to take to calculate the ramp. So I'm just going to create a, we can say, schematic ramp, or we can say we are going to create a schematic ramp. Let's click on floor, and for the floor you need to set your work plan on maybe level 1. Now let's create a simple floor in here. Let's pick this line, pick this face, and also pick this face. I want it to be maybe the end is going to be maybe here. Let's select on trim, and let's trim these lines together. Click on finish, and the top part is okay, but for the bottom part, let's bring it down. Let's click on modify sub elements, and let's go to the right view, and let's bring it down, maybe this part. Let's bring it a little bit downer. If the slope wasn't that great for you, we need to bring it down a little bit lower too. Okay, that's great. And if the slope was too high, you can change the topography, or you can make the lens a little bit bigger. If you want to know about the ramp calculation, make sure to watch the other video that I have on my channel about the ramp calculation and the exact calculation that you need to take in account when you are creating ramps in Revit. Now it's time to add some elements to the outside part that we have. For example, let's add these stairs in here and in here. And also, yeah, we have some stairs in the outside, and also we can add some tree and a car in here to have better placements. And also then we will furnish the plans, and at the end we will create the outputs, and we are at the end stages. Okay, let's go in here and let's see. For example, in the north elevation we have a stair in here. Let's go to our Revit file in here, and in here let's create a stair. To do that, let's go to level 1, and in here let's create 3 or 4 stairs in this part. And I want to create my stairs in this part. You can see the floor in here, and also I want to create them in here. I don't want to create them as arc that they seem to be in the plan. So let's go to the stair. I want to create a monolithic stair, so let's go to the monolithic, and let's say that we want to go from level 1 or maybe ground to level 1, and I just want to create 4 stairs in here, maybe something like this, and that's enough. And let's make the width bigger. Let's dimension in here, it is about 1.8, so let's select these and put the actual run width on 1.8. Now let's move it from here to here, and also from this side. Okay, that's okay. Click on finish. I'm good with it, and let's go to 3D and let's see the result in here. Let me delete it. You can see it is here. My stairs are in here. Let me delete the rails. I don't want to see my rails right now, and I want to delete them. Now I will go to elevation. I will move them up. Let me go to the wireframe and let's move them. And first of all, let's uncheck the end with riser. I don't want a riser at the end, and I want to end my stair with thread. Let's click on finish, and now let's select these and let's click on move. Make sure to uncheck the constraint, and let's bring it up to here. Now that's great. Let's go to the shaded mode again. Now we are good to go, and you can see there are a little problem in here. If you want to have 3 stairs, you need 4 stairs, you need to bring your topography a little bit lower. Let's go to the edit surface and let's go to the left view and let's select these points that I have, and let's bring them down to here, and let's see the result. It is better now, and we need to do some modification to our ramp that we have. Let's click on modify and let's bring it lower to here. That's great. Now we have our stair in here. Also, let's change the material. Let me see the material that we have in here, and let's copy it. And I want to use the exact material in the thread part of this project too. Let's go to the run type, and in here let's go to the thread material, and also I want the riser material to be same as my thread, and they are great. Now we have another stair. I think it is in here. Let's go to the CAD file, and you can see we have another stair, and this is 4 stair in here. Let's create that too, and let's go to the level 1, and you can see the stair file in here. It is not correct. I want to create my stair in here. Let's click on a stair again, and let's go from ground to level 1, and let's create 4 stair or 5 stair in here. Let's create 5. This is 5, and now let me move it from there. Let me bring it outside first, and then let's move it from here to here, and I want the actual width to be about 1.2. Also, let's uncheck the end with riser, and also let's move it again to here. Let me move it from here to here. Elements will be deleted. That's not a problem. Click on finish. Let's go to 3D again and see the result. There is a result. Let's go to the left part, and let's move it from here. Make sure to turn off the constraint, and let's move it to here. Also, you can see we need to bring down our topo surface because they are too high right now. Let's select these points that I have. Also, I need some points in here. Let's select one of these, or maybe these points. Hold control, and let's bring some points in here. Let's go to the left part, and now let's bring those down in here. Now I have this topography that I need in here. Also, these parts should be a little bit higher, so let's create some other points in here, and let's bring them up. Maybe this part, and a little bit higher, especially this one. That's great, I think. Yeah, that's okay, and this is okay too. Let's click on finish, And now let's see if we have any other stair in here. You can see we have two other stair, and we have some other stairs in here too. Let's go to level 1 and let's create one stair in here. But you can see we created the whole part as a floor. I will let it to be something like this. I like it more. Let's create another stair in here. I can copy this one to there. Let's copy this one and let's bring it in here. And we need to rotate it. Let's rotate it 180 degree. And I think I've created a copy. Let's move it to here. And let's see it in action. That's a stair that we want, but it is flipped. So let's go to the edit stair and let's flip it. Now this is the thing we are looking for. Now that's great. You can change the height of the topography in here too. You need to go to the edit surface and let's bring these parts, or we can create some points in this part too, and then we can bring down this point alone to make sure that we have our parts. Okay, let me bring it up a little bit. It is too high, guys. So yeah, it is too high. Let me bring it down to here, and that's great. Also, you can bring your stair a little bit this side to prevent any problem for walking, because we have some other floors. Let me move it a little bit. Maybe that would be okay. And now these are the stairs that we have outside. Let's create some railing for it. I'm not going to spend so much time on railings because it's time consuming. Let's just select one of these and let's create some of them in our project. Let's see what would be suitable for our project. I think maybe this one or this one, they are same. Maybe would be a good choice for our project. Let's Control C in here and let's go to our project. And let's Control V in here to have our railing in here, and then we can just delete it. Let's go to 3D. We just can delete it, and then we can go to the railing in here and click on railing, and then select this one. Yeah, let's click on thread and let's select this one. Now we have our railing. That they are great. You can create some railings in here if you want, but I don't want to do that right here. For that you need to select the sketch railing. Let's create some we don't want any railing in here. Let's create some railing in here too. Let's go to the architecture railing again and select these two, and we want to have some railings for here, and also I want some railings for this part, also for one for this part, and we have two small parts in here. Okay, let's go to the railing and let's sketch them, sketch path. And now let's put it on level 1 and let's put it on peak line. And in here, let me make sure to have offset maybe 1 meter, 0.10 or 10 centimeter would be great. And make sure to put it on inside part. I want another railing in here, and let's make it shorter to this side, to here, and also let's see what is happening in here. I want to finish it right there. Let's click on finish to see the results, and you can see we don't have any balusters in here. I want to add some balusters. If you would remember from the railing video, you would know that you need to select this one. Let's go to the edit type, and you need to split anywhere that you want to have balusters. Let's split one in here, another one in here, another one in here, and also another one in here. Let's click on finish. We don't have any baluster because we need to go to the edit type, and let's go to the baluster placement and make sure to place balusters in corners. So you can see in corners we don't have any baluster. Let's Control C, Control V, this one in here. Let's click on finish, and now we will have the balusters that we are looking for. And let's create some balusters for the upper floor. Let's click on railing, sketch path, and make sure to put the base floor on level 2. And let's go to the peak line and make sure to have an offset about 10 centimeter. And let's create our rail in here. It's picking them on level 1, or that's okay, that's not a problem. Let's click on finish. Now we have our railing in here. We need to make it a little bit shorter from each side to have our balusters outside, or you can turn on the preview to see it in real time. We need to make it shorter from here, maybe 178 or maybe 170. Okay, that's okay. I think I don't care about these parts right now. Let's click on finish, and they are great, and you can change the materials too. And let's create the in here too. Let's click on railing again. Let's turn on the preview, but it's on level 1. Let's put it on level 2. Now we are good to go, but you can see we have some collision between our column and our railing. So let's bring the railing outside the columns part here. Yeah, they are okay. And now let's correct it from this side too. Okay, that's okay. And now we have our elements. Let's add some balusters in here, and also in here. Also, you can easily change the materials. Let's click on finish if you want, and I will change the materials later. You know that how you can change it. That's really easy, and that's the way you can create your stairs, and you can create your rails for outside parts. Now it's time to do our works for furnishing the inside part. Okay, you can see it is a little bit heavy because our railings are heavy and we have a short distance between them. If you would like, you can hide them or turn off the visibility of them. Let's go to the railing. Let's turn off them, and now you can see we can work much more smoothly, and it is better to work. And now let's start furnishing our plan. To make the tutorial shorter, I will furnish one floor, and I also will share all of the families that I will use for furnishing. Then you can furnish the second floor too to have better plans. And this is the folder that I will place for you for our families that we will use for our project, and I'm going to use these families to furnish our project. The first family that I want to use is our flower, that we have some flowers. Let's bring this one and let's select this one. We want another flower pot, and also these two, and let's bring them in. And to place our families, you can go to the component and let's select them. Let's place one in here. Let's place another one in here. And let's see our plan. Let's select the other one that we had. And let's select one in here. And let's see. We have another one in this part. Let's change it to the previous one. And let's place another one in here. It's not for rendering, guys, because for rendering you need to pay much attention to the families that you are placing. But right now I'm just going to place some of them. Also, we have to create our interior stair too, so make sure to remember that to create that too. Okay, that's great. We don't want any other flower pot. Let's go and let's bring our kitchen. I don't want to place my kitchen objects one by one. I have a kitchen set that I will place it for you. We have two kitchen set in here. Let's bring them in. I will put them for you. They are nested families. They are combined with different families, and it will be so easy to create your kitchens with this. But it's not that great for any situation because you need to design it. But for furnishing fast your design, it will be a good choice. Let me bring this one. Let's play this one and the other one, and then I will decide which one is better. Yeah, this one is better because it has one additional unit in here. Let's bring it and let's have a rotate in here. I don't want to copy, and let's move this from here to here. Okay, that's great, and we want to bring it from here to here. Okay, that's great, and let's go in 3D and let's see the result. We can select it and let's activate the section box. You can see it is great, guys. It is a great set. You have all of the necessary elements that you need. We have dishwasher, we have sink, we have the fridge, and we have the other parameters that we need, other objects that we need. Okay, that's great. Let's bring another table that we have for here. This is the one. Let's bring it here and let's place it in here, and it has two different types. Let's place it. The second one, it has 6 seats, and we have a piano in here. Let's bring the piano. Okay, that's great. Let's bring this one in here and let's place it in here. And one tip about family placement. For example, in here we want to have it in a specific angle. You don't need to place it and then rotate it. Just go in here and press space once or multiple times to have it at the right direction and the right angle, and then you can move it from here to here. Now we have our piano. Let's place some sofa in here. Let's bring some sofa. Okay, let's bring this sofa that we have in here. Let's see if this is the one that we want. Yeah, it is the one. Let's place one in here and let's press space, and let's place another one, maybe in this side in here. Okay, that's great. And I want my TV to be here. I have a TV set in here. Let's bring the TV set. This is the TV set that I want to use. In this side, this is the one. Let's bring it in and press space. Some of them doesn't work with the space. Just place them and let's go to 3D. Or before that, let's select these and let's go to 3D and 3D section, and let's rotate these. We need to rotate it by this side. Let's rotate it 90 degree. We want to create any copy. Let's rotate it again, and also you need to make sure that the disjoint is active, and make sure to uncheck the copy and make sure the disjoint is active. Let's rotate it 90 degree. It is not behaving the way that we want. Let's set our work plan. Okay, that's great. And let's use space. This time space worked. And now let's bring it here to maybe here, a little bit lower, and let's see the results in 3D. You can see it has all of the objects, and you don't need to bother to place all of those objects one by one, especially for furnishing. Now you can place some table in here. Let's bring some table. I want to use this one in here, and I want to place one flower at the top of it. Let's place it, and then we can use space to rotate it. Let's bring it in here. I want to create a mirror copy from it. Let's mirror it and make sure to check the copy, and then let's place one flower at the top of it to know how we can place our objects at the top of the other objects. Let's extend this one. Also, let's bring our flowers again, component, and let's bring our flower pot. I want to select the smaller one, this one. Let's bring it in, and you can see it is face-based family, so you can place it really easily at the top of it. If it wasn't a face-based family, you would need to assign offsets to it. If you want to make sure that your families are face-based, let's go to the edit family and make sure that this option is here, which is work plane base, is checked on. Let's load it and let's close. And now let's load it again and let's close it. Now we have our family in here. Let's go to the level 1, and I will place some of the other objects that we have for our bathroom and the bed that we have in here. I will place all of them in family folder. And also we have a car in here too. Let's bring the car, and there is a tip about the cars that I need to tell you. When you bring the cars, especially when they are imported from 3ds Max and some other mesh programs, it is better to turn off the edge in your view to have more smooth way to work, and it is much better, and it will be much lighter to work when you hide the edges. I will place other families that we have in the first floor, in the ground floor, and also in the first floor, and then we will continue with creating our outputs. Now this is the enjoyable part, and all of our hard work will pay off. And now we want to create our plans, and we want to make them beautiful and do some dimensioning to make them ready for our project and for our client. For example, this is the 3D view you can see. We can place it on constant colors, or we can put it on shaded and unshaded. This is the advantage that it has, that you can turn off the edges and it will be much smoother to work. For example, I have this view, and let's create a image from this view that we need from this without doing any sheet creation. Go to the file menu, and in here go to the export, and let's go, and in here click on image and annotation, click on image, and in here I want to have the visible portion of this view, so make sure to check this one, and I want to zoom it to 100 in here, and then you can specify the format in here. Let's put it on PNG maybe, or PNG, it is better. And also let's put it on PNG too, and this is the quality, it is 72. It is too low, put it on 300 or 600, but in the other hand it will take more time to create that. For example, let's put it on 300, and let's go and place it on desktop, and let's call it 1, and let's see the results. You can see the result. You can see, guys, it is really amazing with the amount of hours that we spent for this model. We could spend more time for more details, but it was a tutorial. But you can see I'm really satisfied with the result. And you can place some, for example, let's go to the masking and side. You can place some, maybe let's put it on a tree. You can place some tree in here. Let's put it on tree, and you can populate your scene to have a better image too. For example, you can place a car, you can create roads and those kind of things, but I want this as simple as possible because I'm not going to create a render. And now it's the time to create some 3D views too. For example, we've created our kitchen. Let's go to the level 1 and let's create a great picture from our kitchen too. For example, let's select these, let's go to the section box in this part, and let's bring the section box back. You can bring it back by VG. Let's bring this down maybe in here, and let's bring it up to here. Now let's turn off the section box. Now let's put it on this corner. You can see we have a great view in here. Let's put it on constant colors. I think it is a little bit better. Now sometimes that image creation doesn't work for these small areas, but you can create a screenshot really easily. For example, let's create a screenshot from here, and let's save it, and let's see the results. You can see it is not bad, and it is great, and also you can test this way too, but I think for a smaller parts it doesn't work that awesome. And this is the creation that you can create for 3D. Let's create another. You can save this view too. For example, let's create a duplicate from this view, duplicate with detailing, and let's call the previous one to kitchen 3D, and let's call the new one living room 3D, and let's go in the living room and let's go to the level 1, and in here let's select these parts and let's bring them in section box. You can see it brought them in 3D, but to prevent from that you need to select those elements, for example in here, and go to the living room, and in here click on section box, and now you can have the exact thing that you want. Let's bring back the section box and let's bring it up to here, and let's bring it down to the roof. Now for example we can bring it to here. I don't want to see these parts, and now let's bring it on this side. And now we can create another great 3D for yourself. And also make sure to mention me on your socials, and I will share the better works. Make sure to share it on LinkedIn, on Instagram, to help this video and course to reach more people. Okay, that's great. And now let's create some sheets for ourselves. For example, let's go and let's create a sheet. I want to create a really big sheet, maybe all 0 in here, and let's bring a 3D view. Let's go to 3D and let's turn off the section box. And because we can scale the 3D, it is better to place cameras. For example, let's go to level 1, and in here let's place a camera. In here click on this drop down and let's place a camera in here, and let's go to the camera view, and in here do the exact settings that you want to have. For example, let's put it on constant colors and make sure to turn on the shadows. I want the cast shadows, but the shadows are going to be too light. I want them to be light. Let's click on finish and let's wait a little bit. It is a little bit heavy, but don't worry. Let's turn around and let's make this crop a little bit bigger. You can put it on shaded and turn off the edges. It will be much smoother. If you have problem with performance, it will be much better. This is the 3D view that I'm looking for, maybe this side, and you can change the background too. For example, you can go to the view in here and let's go and put a gradient at the background. Maybe it is not that great. Maybe you can bring it in here and you can make this bigger, and I'm okay with it. Let's go to the sheet that we've created in this part. Let's bring the 3D view 1. That was the camera, and you can see, as I said, if it was a 3D view, you couldn't select it and size crop it, and also especially scale it in here. But if it was when it is camera, you can scale it. Let's put on a scale and let's double the size of it, maybe 300. Let's click on OK, and now it is much bigger. Let's place it in here, and I want to bring the view title in here, and the view title is great. And let's bring the level 1 2 in this part, and I want level 1 to be first. Let's select all of these and let's hide them by EH, and let's double click in here, and also let's turn off the CAD file, and now let's place it somewhere around maybe here. That's great. I don't want any view title, so let's put it on no title. And there is a time that we want to make this plan more beautiful, to have a better plan. Let's go in it and let's put it on hidden line, and let's go to VG and let's do some magic. Let's go to the walls in here and let's assign a solid cut pattern to it. Maybe in here let's put it on solid, and I want a really dark gray, not black but dark gray. Click on OK, and now it is much better. You can go to the view and you can turn off the edges. As you can see, you can't turn off the edges in hidden line, so make sure to smooth it but anti-aliasing. Let's click on OK, and let's hide this car in here. Also, I want to turn on the shadows, but I want them to be bright. So let's go to the shadows and let's turn on both of them, and let's go to the lighting and make sure that the shadows are really light. Let's click on OK, and you can see we have a great part of work in here. You can bring some side component too to have better plan too, to maybe a beautiful plan. Also you can place dimensions if you want. Let me bring them a little bit inner in this part. Now I want to place some rooms to have our area. Let's go to the architecture tab and let's place our rooms in here. This place, you can do some room separation in here too, but I'm not going to put a lot of time there. Let's place it in here, in here, in here, in here, and the only part that I want to have a room separation is this part that I want to separate my kitchen from the other parts that we have. Let's bring this room separation to this wall, and now that's great. And now let's place another room in this part, which is our kitchen. Now let's go to the color schema, or we can go to the annotation tab. In here, click on colorful legend. Let's place a colorful legend in here and make sure it is according to the rooms. I want them categorized by name, and wait a little bit, and now all of them are same. Let's go to the edit tab in here, and I don't want the title, so make sure to turn off the visibility. And in here, let's name these, and we will be right back. And this is the view that we have, guys. For example, let me bring it in here, and I want to do this trick in here, and on them, let's make them smaller, something like this. To have it horizontally, I want to have them horizontally. I think it is a little bit better, maybe. Let's bring it in from here too. And now we can have two rows too, and let's place it in here. That's great, guys. You can do the exact thing for other plan too and put it in here. But let's create a section too. Let's go to the level 1 and let's create a section around maybe this side, from this side to this side, and let's put the scope of the view of our section to here. Let's go to our section and let's do some work for our section too. But before that, let's bring it in our sheet. Let's bring the section in our sheet. Let's bring the section in this part. Okay, now let's make it a little bit more beautiful. We can change the scale of it too. For example, I think it is on 1 to 100. Let's put it 150. I think it will be much bigger. Let's put it on custom and let's put it on 175. I think it will be fit, and it is a little bit bigger. That's the thing that I want. Let's bring it in here and let's put the view title on no title. I don't want any view title right here. Let's go in it and make sure to turn off the crop region, and here let's do some things in VG. But before that, let's put it on, let's go in here, let's put it on fine. Okay, let's check that it is on hidden line. Yeah, that's great. Let's go to the display setting, and in here let's put the anti-aliasing on, and let's go to the shadows. I want the shadows, but again I want them to be bright, so bring it down to the thing that you have. Also, if you have a depth skewing in sections, and it will fade the elements that are in different depths from the point of view that you are seeing. For example, you saw that. Let's go to the VG and let's go to our walls, and for the cut pattern let's assign a black cut pattern, and also let's do the same thing for our floors and our roofs. Now you can see it is much better. And also the other thing that I want is to have more colorful legend in section 2. To do that, you need to go to the view in here. Let's go to the color scheme and make sure to turn it on. Let's put it on color scheme and let's put it on name. But before that, you need to place it on rooms in here, and let's put it on name. Click on OK, and you can see we have some colors. If you would copy them in the other view, you would have them in there too. And now it's the time to create our PDF. Let's go to the file menu. To create a PDF, as you know, go to the export and in here click on PDF, or you can go to the print part. Let's click on print, and in here I want this current window as my part that I want to print. And or you can select your sheets in here, it depends on you. Let's select our sheets in here. Let's click on select, and I want them to be as PDF. You can select any PDF engine that you want. I want to use a Ballsy PDF printer, it is better. Let's go to the setup in here and let's do our setups. I want it to be 0 because it doesn't have it has 0. Let's put it on 0. And I want it to be center, and I want it to be fit to page. And for the quality, make sure to put it, I want it to be on presentation, and I want them in colors and landscape. That's great, and all of these things are great. Click on OK, and let's specify the place that we want to create our PDF, and let's click on OK. Yes, and let's wait, and we will have our PDF soon. And now guys, this is our PDF, and this is the final project that we've created. You can create more sheets. You can see the details because we put it on presentation. I love the colors, and I love them to be fade, and I don't want them be too saturated. And that was the end of this project. Make sure to like and subscribe this channel, and mention me in your socials. I will mention the best works, and feel free to ask any question that you have in the comment section. Also, if you are a student for our Revit architecture course, and this was the 22nd session of that, and if you want to know what will happen to the certificate, I will put the certificate link in a few days in the description, so make sure to check that and answer the question, and then you can get your certificate too, and then you can share it on your socials. And now if you have any problem in any topic of this full project, I will place the full playlist link in here. You can go there, and we have all of the essential topics there, and you can watch the specific topic that you are looking for. I will see you on the next session.